My wife, 37F, and I, 35 meters, met 10 years ago. We dated for 3 years before we got engaged for 1 year. We have 3-year-old twin girls. I can't say we have a great marriage. Last week, her brothers and sisters and their spouses came to visit. It had been long since we saw them, and the slightest chance they got, they came to see us. Honestly, we had a good time catching up. We talked and chatted about different topics. Then the topic of infidelity came up. Her cousin had been cheated on by his wife, and we were talking how the guy was suffering and how horrible it is for him, and how infidelity affects the BS, and so on. As the conversation was going on, I noticed my wife seemed distracted, like she was trying to forget some suppressed memories. She seemed not wanting to be involved in the conversation, and she kept excusing herself to get more drinks, to go to the bathroom, to check on the kids, and so on. After my in-laws left, I confronted her, and that's when she told me that she had something to tell me. She sat me down and warned me what I was about to hear was going to be hurtful. She then went ahead to tell me that she had sex with her boss several times 2 months before our wedding and 3 weeks before I came back from a work trip abroad. She said before I left for my trip, we were not on good terms. That's true. 1 week before the trip, we had had one huge argument, which turned into a small fight. And at some point, I had started withdrawing emotionally. Then this guy came and pushed the right buttons and worked his way into my then fiancé's pants. She vented to him about the struggles in our relationship, and he was there to support her emotionally. I can remember this time that the calls and the video chats had reduced, and when we talked, it didn't last long as before, but I didn't much into it. They hooked up at his place, and even at our apartment and on our bed. This guy was married, and he had 3 kids and was about 20 years older than my wife. She told me that their affair lasted 6 weeks out of the 4 months. I was away for work. Then when she called this guy was also sleeping with other women, she ended it. And that's when she realized she had been played by this guy. She felt ashamed and hated herself that she had fallen for a player. A few days after she had ended her affair, she discovered she was pregnant. She knew the AP would not support her, and if I discovered that she was pregnant, I would leave her and her family would disown her, especially her father. So she decided to terminate the pregnancy. I remember her calling me crying and confessing her love for me and asking me whether I will ever leave her. Then she started blowing up my phone with love messages telling me she couldn't wait to see me and everything. Before she finished her confession, both of us were in tears. Her rage and anger were eating me from inside, and I was trying really hard not to tell or break anything. She then went ahead to swear that she has never cheated on me during our marriage and that she has always wanted to confess but didn't know how to do that. She said that when the conversation of her cousins came up, all the guilt came back in full force and hit her hard, that the memories she had tried to suppress were eating her up. I don't know what to do. I love my wife very much, and I say that I have been happily married for those 6 years, and I don't want to lose anything right now. Not my girls, not my wife, not my house, but I don't know how to get over this. It has been 2 days since her confession, and honestly the only thing that keeps me moving is my 2 daughters. I'm trying to be strong for them, but I feel like losing my mind and going insane. Everything seems fake and like a lie. I have been sleeping in my car even though we have a spare bedroom, and I have started smoking again, and am trying to avoid my wife and as much as possible and ignoring anything that comes out of her mouth. I can't even look at her in the eyes. I'm lost.